Hello, welcome our new session. Today we will talk about digital coordination in construction site. My name is Aydın Özçekiç. I am founder of Botmore Technology, and we are focused on construction technology solutions. Uh, so today I want to talk about a bit digital coordination in the construction site. From our point of view, this is maybe the most important problem in the construction sector because there are different parties working together, different disciplines working together, and they try to find ways of coordination. And generally, it is not so proper because people don't reach each other easily and they miss the points. And people spend a lot of time for the coordination, calling each other, sending emails, sending messages. And it is a huge problem for the sector. From the design to the construction side, people cannot coordinate it easily. Uh, Today, briefly, I want to talk about what is the main problem, and I want comment from you, and afterwards we can talk about it. Yes, first thing is in the construction sector and effectively using the for data source is BIM, Building Information Model. BIM is main target of the BIM is to create a central database for everybody. So it is a good way for the coordination, single truth to find the single truth. We are using BIM generally. I will use my some articles. Of course, you can check my articles afterwards, but I just want to use them to make a uh, good progress in the presentation. First thing is a beam. If you talk about the beam, uh, generally everybody's talking about design, but beam is not just limited with design. As you know, if it's 4D, 5D, it's goes to construction site, and it directly provide data to the construction site teams. Because of that, beam is not just for a design thing. It's everything is related to all construction life cycle, building life cycle. Uh, I don't want to enter some details, but generally, uh, as a data source, BIM is not just a 3D visualization. In the background, each object in the BIM has a very precious data people need on the construction site and afterwards in the facility management. So first of all, we should approach this data uh, in a different way for according to our discipline in the construction projects. And of course, BIM creates a good environment for the coordination. Simply, as you see, people can look at the same model and they can talk about the problems and they can solve the problems together using different BIM tools. These tools can be Revisto, Revit, Navisworks, whatever. At the end, it's a good way to see what is going on the construction site, what are the main problems, and how we can solve them. And in one table, people can coordinate using this model. It's a good thing, but unfortunately, in a lot of construction projects, uh, we couldn't see that kind of examples easily because people are generally work in uh, their own beam silos, and then they try to share this data with others, but this create a big problem in the coordination. What I mean, for example, your mechanical subcontractor, civil subcontractor, and electrical subcontractor are working, unfortunately, in different models. Then they try to combine them uh, without any proper plan. So this not help our coordination so much. So we are living same problems again and again. On the other hand, BIM needs time to make a coordination. So if just we are modeling with the construction progress, unfortunately, it BIM cannot affect real production, and there's another huge problem. Other thing is people on the construction site generally not so capable to use BIM tools. Uh, there's some tools, as you know, BIM 360 or that kind of tools. People can check the model on the construction site, but unfortunately, these tools are not so useful generally on the construction site because people, especially the construction managers, uh, try to finish project very fast and they try to solve the problems very fast. So they could, if there is a mistake on the model, they couldn't turn back to the model and design, and or they solve the problem intuitively. And this creates, unfortunately, is not a good way of solution. And on the other hand, it affects directly all coordination process. So, as a data source, BIM is so important, but on the other hand, there are a lot of challenges on the BIM usage on the construction site and for the coordination. People always talk about that kind of rooms as you see now on the screen, but rooms are just a places people can possibly come together. But the main thing is people should believe that BIM can provide that kind of opportunity to them. So it is about a bit of mindset. Uh, so briefly, one side of the coordination is about, of course, from the design to the construction side, to share the same data and talk about the same thing. And it's about, of course, create a one BIM building information model for everybody on the every party on the construction project. Uh, this is not always possible, but we should focus on that. Because of that, there's BIM managers on the construction projects, and they try to coordinate different models to create single source of truth. Yes, this is one of the important things, but it's not all thing because when you are on the construction site, uh, you are living a lot of different problem. We can call them issues, especially in the construction site engineers uh, living these real-time problems with the subcontractors, with the other designers, with the teams working on the construction site. There are always some coordination problems, and these problems causing a big cost and time uh, losses on the site. Because of that, people should reach real-time data whenever they need, and BIM is one of them. And if our BIM is current, BIM data is current and updated, then second problem is the people on the construction site, which are in the production, should can reach this data in real time and easily. Uh, because of that, we work on this issue so much, and we make a different research and develop activities as both more technology, and we try to find different solutions. Of course, there is some tools people are using on to see the model on the construction side, but people are not so keen to look to model. So we try to find another solution. We try to make the BIM model data accessible using a chatbot or digital assistant. What I mean, I think you want to ask question to the model, to the BIM. For example, for a building construction, you can ask a model, what is the status of door installation works? It is a good question. And if you want like to learn this question at the moment, you should go to model, you should click the related object, and you have to see its some data on it, and you try to understand what is the status of that item in the construction progress. But maybe we can ask question directly to the BIM or to the database. You can ask that what is the status of door installation task. If our digital assistant understands this question and it can understood, intent of this question is status of the progress, and the second thing is the entity of this question is door installation. then it tries to find door installation items and gives you related information without making any search, just answering the question. You don't need to look at a model, you don't need to make a search, just take an answer. So this makes people's life easier. And I think in the construction side is the works are going like that. People asking each other what is going on. So we try to put a digital assistant between the people and to consume uh, some questions which are not very important but repetitive questions. People daily ask same type of questions to each other, and it increases the productivity very aggressively. Because of that, we focus on that. And in our approach is a bit maybe different, but mainly we try to make text-based or speech-based search on the beam for the construction site teams. I think this was a good idea, and we make some tryouts, and they were successful. And other thing about the coordination is, from our point of view, just I want to share another thing with you. Hmm. That's one. Second thing we focus on, one is to reach the data easily. Yeah, we try to make data more accessible using our digital assistant. And in the background, we can understand what kind of people on the construction site need which kind of data. I think this is very important because when you see this, you understand the main challenges and main problems on the construction site. And chatbot are recording all these communication data between the construction teams and the chatbot, and it tries to understand how people are acting in the construction site, how they are living their problems on the construction site, and what kind of data they need when they are doing a specific job or task. So this is very critical because when you start to understand that, you can give the data beforehand. For example, a construction site engineer will go to check door installations. Automatically, the system knows that these people have should need this kind of data. And automatically it can give this data to him without asking. And secondly, our system can know that what kind of problem this person can leave on this task. So it tries to find automatic answers and notifications for these people to decrease the chance of risk of this mistake. I think this is very important. If you work on the construction site, you know the risk of that kind of issues. And as I said, in the second take, or maybe more important than the beam, we try to make an issue manager for the construction sector. Our issue manager is AI powered issue manager. Basically, is a chatbot. Again, is another chatbot, and it tries to understand the problems and taking this data from the person working on the site, and it creates a registration in the backend about this issue, and then it coordinates all these issue management process. I can give an example. For example, you are on the construction site and you solve a problem in concrete wall. For example, there's a crack which is not expected crack on the concrete wall, and you took a picture of it. Normally, without our digital assistant, you send this info to the related people or related subcontractor, and they try to find a solution for that. And then you create an change order, and this system goes like that. And it's not easy process normally because you leave a lot of that kind of problems, small problems, and you send this information to the people. Maybe you can use some different tools, but at the end, this process is very complicated, and you have to spend a lot of time to solve that kind of problems. And it is very challenging thing for the construction site teams. But our digital assistant is basically taking data from the people, asking questions, and taking the issue related data, and then package this data. For example, it can be a picture, video, and some data about this problem and the responsible of this problem. Then it package it and send this issue data to the related responsible people. And these people take this notification from the digital assistant, and automatically he tries to solve this problem. And this process, it gives some information to the digital assistant, which is ask how you will solve this problem, when you will solve this problem. And our digital assistant takes this information and combine it with the issue data and create a very solid database in the background. And when the problem is solved, it notifies the issue creator, and it coordinate all the system, just asking questions to people, just notify the people, and playing a middleman role in this coordination process. We have two advantages here. One, of course, is clearly you can see we are making we are making the coordination better and easier, and people don't spend time to chase the people. Okay, so everything is registered in the background, so we know who's the bottleneck, who can't solve the problem. That kind of things, we can report them. But the second thing, maybe the most important thing, we have a very clear data in the backhand about the issue solutions, and all issue related data. I think this is very, very valuable, because if you have that kind of data, afterwards you can use this data to make some predictions, you can make some risk analysis, and it is very valuable for your company or for your team. So this is one of the good ways for the coordination. But generally, in the construction site, for the coordination, people are using different tools. What I mean, for example, main subcontractor is using a different planning tool, and they try to give different format. Just I can give an example. For example, main contractor using Primavera, and subcontractor use MS Project, and they're giving each other to, for example, some Excel files or CSV files about the project progress. That kind of different system usage is creating a big problem for the coordination, because people don't work on the same kind of environment. So in that point, we can say that we can solve this problem with the integration. But integrations are not so easy, especially if they are custom kind integrations. So again, we are coming to that point, and we try to use our digital assistant to make this coordination again. As I said, we can put our digital assistant in the middle, and it collects data from the different subcontractors, it combines them. Then this digital assistant integrated your project management tool directly, and it feeds your system automatically. And this creates a good integration, but it's not a custom integration. And at the same time, it creates very clear data in the background again. Because of that, we, as an interface, we give importance to digital assistant, the chatbot technology. Basically, we are using an NLP, natural language processing system, but it tries to understand what you are saying. But most importantly, as I said, it takes data from you very structured way, and it can use the data in the background. And the second thing, chatbot digital assistant asking questions to you, and when something or somebody asks question to you, you feel that you should reply it, because it is a not just passive relation, it's very active relation with the system. So it is a second advantage from the mobile apps. There are different mobile apps you can use for the coordination, but it's most important thing. People have to use it. Uh, so I talk about a bit solutions, different solutions, but for the coordination, uh, we can say that maybe one of the most important thing for the sector, not just for the companies. Uh, People are always talking about common data environment, but people unfortunately, and it's not possible maybe easy talk, but people don't talk about common data, common coordination environment. You have to create a common coordination environment to use this common data environment, because yes, we can have a common data, but we have to consume this data and we have to create a valuable result from this data. I think this is very critical. And in that point, we can touch different disciplines like data science, of course, artificial intelligence, in the same time, of course, construction management, design, and facility management. We can touch different disciplines. But at the end, the most important thing to understand, we should use all solutions or data systems or data sources to make a coordination on it. This is very critical for us. Yes. Now, if you are talking about digital coordination, I want to give another example about the problem. Generally, people on the construction site, when they leave the problem on the site, they call each other directly by phone, or they send WhatsApp messages each other. There are some WhatsApp groups on the construction site, and people are using it effectively to share some information or to share the problems. And from the outside, it seems good because people are in a way connected and they try to solve the problem together. But if you look the big picture, there's a huge problem there. If you use a WhatsApp group and WhatsApp messages to share your problems and try to find the solutions, then we have to ask that where is this data? Who will use this data afterwards? Can we make an analysis on this data? So when we start to ask these questions, we come a point. We can say that yes, these solutions are digital. I agree. These solutions makes life easier. Okay, but at the end, these solutions with this usage, just peer-to-peer usage, unfortunately can create a sustainable competitive advantage for the companies. And we can carry the experience in a project to another project. And maybe the other important thing for the building life cycle, we couldn't carry the data in the construction and the design to the facility management, because in the facility management there are different peoples and they are not in that WhatsApp groups generally. So all the data, all the people are talking, all the problems, all the challenges are uh, just are going nowhere. Because of that, data registration is so important. And unfortunately, we can't force people to enter data a system periodically. Yes, we can force, but they don't enter real things. Just enter the maybe most important things according to their daily progress, but they don't really enter the data we need. Maybe small problems, but they can be important for us in the future. So because of that, uh, we should find different things. As about more technology, we use digital assistants. Yes, it is a way of thinking. I'm a bit promoting it because I am the founder of company, but because I think that it is working. But on the other hand, we have to find other ways for the coordination, more sophisticated ways, and more data centric ways. If I turn back to my first part of the presentation, yes, BIM is a good tool for us for a start point, as a starting point, but BIM is a source of data, yes, but we have to use this first. It should be a source of data. We have to feed this model with the current data of the project. It should be, and then we use this data and the model really for the coordination and for the project, not just for the show up. If we can do this, I think BIM can be very effective, and we can create a good benefit, good return of investment from the BIM usage. People are, when I talk, especially for the a bit smaller companies, they talk about we are using BIM because main contractors are forcing us, and unfortunately, we can't see any return of investment of BIM usage. We are doing our job with the CAD already is effective, and BIM usage just making our lives harder and increasing salaries of the designers, and it increases our costs. So we can see real benefit of the BIM usage. I think why they don't see this, because unfortunately they don't use BIM as a source of data for their company and for the future of their company. There are a lot of small companies competing each other to get the job, and if you are smart, you can use data, BIM and other data, to make your company more competitive in the market and to create additional values for your customers. Of course, you have to look at differently to the BIM, differently to the data, but the most importantly, small or big, you should understand that construction sector is changing very rapidly. If we want to handle it, we should make investment to data management, data science, and of course AI, and to create a common data environment, not just for us, for our partners. Yes, I think half hour is enough. I just want to make introduction. I just want to share what I think about the digital coordination. Of course, Botmore is trying to do something as a company, but each people on the construction site and of course companies should think more about the coordination. Please share your problems about the coordination, or if you have a best practices about the coordination, please share with us. Maybe you can make comment under this presentation. They are so valuable for us because people should understand that coordination is different from using just digital tools. It creates a lot of synergy for a project. And the other thing, please follow us, follow me, and follow Botmore Technology in LinkedIn. And we will continue to share different things with you. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon. Bye bye.